Okay. So are you there? I don't know if you're there. It does look like a mirror.
All right. I'll just start. So follow me. Okay. I'm going to place you gently. I'm Danijela, and I'm a Scorpio. Aquarius rising. Of course, you might think it's very weird that I'm starting my monodrama with all these like Scorpio and astrology things. And we definitely all know what it means. It means a very simple thing, actually. And that is that all these stars here would be a constellation of a Scorpio. So what it means is actually that the sun was traveling. It's like a belt, right? And it's divided into these 12 segments, and each segment would represent one astrology sign. And then here, on the bottom, right here, on the horizon, would be the sign that appears at 1:40 p.m., which is the hour when I was born on November 4th, 19, whatever. It was Monday, right? So that's what it is, right? But actually that does not matter at all. What matters is that it was this primal need that I had to connect with something that's much larger than myself. And it's not only me, my generation, all of us kids, we would just like look up and think like, what's up? And what's all that up there? And look at all these little shiny stars and objects and twinkling lights, and it looks like a Christmas tree of some kind. And is there a deity of some kind? And is it kind? And is it controlling us? And did anybody ever count those shiny little stars? And it's not only us. You should have seen little Babylonians 2,000 years ago, before Christ. They were trembling and shivering and shaking and thinking, what is all that? They were so scared. They named the planets with the names of their gods. And then after that, Romans came and they scratched it. They said, no good. We are going to rename the planets. And then after that, Mayans came. Oh, you should have seen Mayans. Mayans were the best. Such a shame they disappeared from the face of Earth. Otherwise, they would have get close to seeing the face of you-know-who. So us kids, lying on the wet grass in the middle of the night and wondering, does God live on a star, or star is a God? Or God is a star? So many questions. More questions than stars themselves. So we decided to ask teacher, my teacher, middle-aged woman with sarma hair, décolleté down to here, very bright, colorful blouses, 3/4 sleeves, and long nails. I never understood that thing about her. Long nails which she never paint it. I never understood, like, why are you growing your nails if you're not going to paint them? That's what nails are for, to be painted. Everybody who has nails should paint them. Men, women, chicken, children, everybody. No, she did not paint her nails, and she would wear these skirts that were made of Karostoff. And Karostoff would be just all the way straight, and then she would have a big schlitz here, which was going right here down to her thigh. And every time she wanted to say something, she would get up. And there was something wrong with her schlitz, because every time she stand up to say something, the schlitz would go this way. So I never understood that either. Like, is it because the Karostoff was maybe of a poor quality, or maybe it is just because the skirt was not like properly tailored or something? So anyway, she got up like that, and she said, there is no God. She said there was no God. She said only primitive people believe in God. You should trust in yourself and in the work of your own hands. And then she supported this whole theory with a beautiful story, which is about the farmer who was resting at the end of his hard day, admiring his beautiful grain crops. At that moment, priest passed by. Astonished by the beauty, he started praising God and God's hands. And the marvel, he, meaning God, made. Offended farmer snapped. He's like, wait a minute, Mr. Priest. I am the one who has been sowing the seeds and harvesting the field. And if I had left it to God and his hands, it would not have looked like this. So we collectively decided not to believe in God and to believe in the work of our own hands. As if he heard it. He sent astrologers. How convenient, got it? He sent astrologer. Okay, astro, meaning star. Logia, the word of God, the word of God. Astrologia, astrologers. Oh, astrologers were specialized groups of people who were operating in those socialist countries where God was not available. Got it? So that's how I grew up without God, and I became a Scorpio. And then I opened my eyes and I saw my mommy and my daddy and my grandpa. And I heard the neighbor's dog, and this is day one. Mommy goes to work. Daddy goes to work. Grandpa takes my hand. And he takes me to a restaurant. We order 5 chickpea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. little hot bun on the bottom. 5 cevapi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little hot bun on top. We walk back home. Grandpa takes a nap. Neighbor's dog barks. I play in front of the mirror. So they're not alone. Mommy comes back from work. What did you have for lunch? Cevapi. Why do I cook if you're going to eat cevapi? Day 2. Mommy goes to work. Daddy goes to work. Grandpa boils hot dogs in a little enamel pot. He takes one out. He places it gently on a wooden board and he cuts into evenly sized circles. Then he takes a big piece of bread and he cuts it into evenly squares. And one circle to a square, and circle to a square, and circle to a square. Then he takes a nap. The neighbor's dog barks like crazy. I play in front of the mirror so that I'm not alone. Mommy comes back from work. What did you have for lunch? Hot dogs. Why do I cook if you are going to eat hot dogs? Day 3. Mama, the neighbor's dog was chasing me. Oh, you dreamt it. I did not dreamt it. Yes, you did. I did not dreamt it. I don't even know what it means, dreamt it. How could I possibly dreamt it something when I don't even know the meaning of that word? I don't want to dreamt it. I don't want to play in front of the mirror, and I don't want to be alone. As if he heard it, he said, piano. Black wooden cabinet. The biggest piece of furniture in the whole room. Powerful, magnificent, colossal, standing proudly on its 3 legs. Like a bloody monument to a fallen hero, worth admiration, polished to a perfection of a mirror, which is perfection, so that you can see yourself in it, so that you're not alone. Of course, you do realize that having your mirror self keeping you company is the very definition of solitude. And now let me ask you, would you rather bear the pain of being tied to your solitary self, playing those black and white keys for the rest of your life, or would you be rather tied to a 7.5 other lonely bastards whose mirrors might not be as polished as yours? Now that is a question. Once upon a midnight reverie, while I pondered weak and weary, to be or not to be, to blah or not to blah, to wonder, not to wonder, no wonder he went to Wittenberg. Yet another lonely, disturbed, curious, so curious. You can open it. It has a hood like a car. Then there is a lead prop to keep it open so that you can examine. You can go inside if you want, but no one does that. And also there's strings, lots of strings and wires. I wonder if anybody ever counting those. The teacher, different teacher. Teacher number 2, different teacher. Different like echo, different like forte and piano. That teacher, number 2, said that if you play the key gently, it responds gently. But if you bang it like this, it's gonna bite you. You see, my child, that is because piano has a soul. What do you mean, piano has a soul? How can a piece of furniture have a soul? Well, but it is a piece of musical furniture. Musical furniture. What kind of life do I live in? And the skies do not have God and furniture have souls. It is not furniture's fault that there is no God in the sky. So what you need to do, you need to embrace it. You need to nourish it. You need to study it con brio. At the beginning, where you're not sure, you have to go allegro, ma non troppo. Always separate hands. Mano destra, mano sinistra. Mano destra staccato, mano sinistra legato, and then slowly, poco a poco, con stringendo, con crescendo, and glissando. And if you want to breathe, con appassionato. But when you don't want to breathe, then even more, con maestoso and grandioso. And if you want to love with all your heart, con amoroso. But if you want to say something and you shouldn't, just play it. There were so many things I wanted to say, I just couldn't know how. The little me could not speak. It's about the things they were saying to me. They were like nails being hammered into my little brain. They were hurting my jello up here. One doctor said that after the age of 40, all the nails are gonna go away. But how come it still hurts when I pass by the slightest resemblance of my childhood? And also the doctor said that until the age of 40, we walk forward, and then after that, we return and we go back. Is that when we are pulling out those nails? Wait, did Jesus' nails got pulled out? then how did he play piano and how did he say that the things that he should not have said? And all these nails, they were all for my protection, so that I'm safe in my little fortress where nobody can hurt me. I had no right to try. I had no right to succeed. There was no chance of failing and no chance of defeat and no chance of shame, mine and theirs. I was free and I was safe. So I was growing up and playing and growing up and playing and growing up and playing and growing up and playing. But what it didn't grow up was the trust in myself and my ideals, and that my ideals can be achieved, that it will be achieved. So I was growing up. Always clean shaven. Nicely pressed shirt. Big ass watch on his left hand. Never late. Never jealous. Boring. And then, how dare he found another girlfriend? Rude. Rude. I would like to implement the law that says that no boyfriend is allowed to find another girlfriend 7 years after the breakup. That's how much we need time to regenerate our broken cells. Oh, and then this one. He was the smart one. He was the only guy reading a book on the bus. Glasses. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances. So we are looking at each other's eyes without making an eye contact. So I'm thinking, ooh, let me think what I'm gonna do to you. When we get to know each other, I'm going to say this, and then you are going to say that. And then I'm going to do this, and you're going to do that. And I'm going to take you there, and you're going to take me there. So I pre-dreamed the whole thing. Once we met, boom! Nothing. All these pre-planning and pre-dreaming, just such a waste of time. Nothing. And now that's another law that I would like to be implemented as of now. All the pre-planning has to go exactly as pre-planned. So if you want to do certain things with a guy and you don't know each other just yet, once you get together, it has to go as planned. no surprises. That's so disappointing. And then this one, poet. Okay, all right, okay. He was not really that on time, but then he was a little bit like kind of too late. And then his shirt was not really that pressed, but then it was a little bit like, yeah, I don't know what to say. And then I know he was a poet and everything, but he was a little bit like not masculine enough. And then he had this thing about like, he would like read a line of a poetry, and then he would like slumber me with kisses. He would be like, tvoje belo runa, I veter, I ležiš ti, kao ovca. I just cannot deal with that. As if he heard it, he sent me March 6th, 1980, whatever. It was Tuesday. At 7:38, we started dating. Come closer, come. Yeah. Yay. Come close. Yeah. From the first moment I met him, I knew he was the right one. Just everything about him was right. The way he looked at me. Like every time he would look at me with those green eyes, he would be like, he would look at me like from below. And then the way he smiled, you know, that like full-hearted, like laughter, loud and beautiful and warm and masculine. And then the way he held my hand, the way he was kissing me. There was no guy who kissed me ever like that before and after. He was holding my face exactly the way I like it. And then the stories he knew, he knew so many stories. I don't know how he just knew all these stories. We were young. He knew so many stories. Some of them were funny, some of them were just smart, some of them were like fairy tales. And then our first trip together, you know that excitement, like when you know that you're gonna wake up with someone you love, he's just gonna be there next to you. And then waiting for those like blood dawns of Belgrade, waiting for them on the balconies of our apartments. And he was holding me in his arms one night and he said, there is something really serious I want to talk to you about. So I'm gonna take you to a very special place. And then I'm going to tell you something. He never called me back. I don't know why. I met him on the street 1 month later. He was a completely different person. Cold and not interested. I was crushed. So I changed the continent. I continued my graduate studies, but I also continued living in his shadow. Everything I did was for him. Every time I had a conflict, I would talk to him. I would imagine him answering, giving me advices, telling me what to do and how to do. I lived with him in my head. Every boy I dated was nothing in comparison to him. They were all boring, weak. No one ever kissed me the way he did. So I didn't get married. And then after 30 years, last year, I saw him. And it was the same like back then. But this time I kept my eyes open. And I saw a different man. He was mean, almost abusive. So I left him. Now what? I'm not young. I haven't been young for quite a long time. Behind those old eyes, there is a 16-year-old heart. You silly. Is that what men find attractive? Huh? Oh, you little silly goose. Let's see. Okay. You just haven't managed to grow up. You still paint your toenails green. We know how that ends. So much room to write. I can draw here. I can draw there. I can draw here. As if he heard it.